Today I will be showing you how to replace the joysticks and plastic buckles inside of your Nintendo Joy-Cons. Let's dive in. Before you start this procedure, go into your calibration settings on your Nintendo Switch and check for dead zones or drift. Dead zones are areas where your joystick isn't reaching when moving around. Drift is where the joystick tilts on its own. Both can cause havoc when gaming. Move the joysticks in circular motions, checking to see that you're getting full range of motion. Flick the stick and let go to see if it returns to center, or moves off on its own. There are lots of affordable kits on Amazon that come with everything you need. The link for the one I used is in the description. First, you'll have your tweezers. Next is the tri-tip 1.5 by 25 mil, then the replacement joysticks, plastic pry tool, 1.5 by 25 Phillips, metal buckles and screws, rubber covers, and plastic pick and pry tool. For this video, we will show the right Joy-Con, as well as show the notable differences from the left. Start by taking out the 4 screws holding the back on. You will need the tri-tip for these 4 screws. Set the screws in a container or on a sheet of paper, separated in a way you'll remember where they go when it's time to put back together. Use the plastic pick to go around the edges and separate the back from the front. Be careful not to go too deep. Slowly pry open the Joy-Con, but don't yank as there are ribbon cables that could easily break. Use the plastic pry tool to pry out the battery. You don't want to use anything sharp as that could puncture the battery. I recommend unplugging the battery, although not entirely necessary. It is much easier with it out and could protect from anything getting fried. Next, we will need the Phillips to take out the 4 screws holding in the battery housing. Here in the top right corner, I will show the differences between the right Joy-Con from the left. The procedure is mostly the same, but the ribbon cables are slightly different as well as the screw locations. Be careful as you pry the battery housing out, as it is connected with a ribbon cable. Next, undo the buckles holding the other 2 ribbon cables in and slide the ribbon cables out. You can now remove the back of the Joy-Con. There is a ribbon cable connecting the joystick. Make sure to undo this, then take out the 2 screws holding the joystick in using the Phillips. Pull out the joystick, but be aware of the little gasket. Make sure the gasket is flat with no wrinkles or bends. Align it with the screw holes. Now, place the new joystick in and secure it. You can now check that the Joy-Con is physically functioning properly. Put the 2 screws back in. This is where the magnetic tip comes in very handy. Reattach the joystick's ribbon cable and lock it in place. Next, we will replace the plastic buckle with the metal one that came in the kit. Start by taking the top screw out with the Phillips. You can pry off the back plastic piece, but be careful not to lose the black button when doing this. Remove the screw on top of the bumper. There is a metal lock that you must pry open. Mine gave me a lot of trouble. I used the tweezers, which I probably shouldn't have. Try using the plastic pry tool. Be very gentle so you don't bend or snap anything when prying. Next, take out the plastic buckle, but be aware of the small spring on the buckle. It could spring away into another dimension. Place the spring onto the metal buckle and then place the metal buckle into the housing. Snap the clip back in place. Replacing the plastic buckle with the metal one prevents the Joy-Cons from sliding out of the switch without pushing the release button. Over time and use, the plastic buckle strips and wears down. The metal one stays secure. Put the screws back in and then place the button. Tighten up the second screw. Don't forget to place the trigger back in if yours fell out. Now make sure the ribbon cable locks are open and place the ribbon cable back in. Lock them up. Place the battery housing back in and screw it in. Secure and plug in the battery. As you close the Joy-Con, be careful not to pinch the ribbon cables. Tuck them in and go slow. Snap it in place, go around the edges and make sure it's secure. Place all 4 screws back in the back of the Joy-Con with the tri-tip. Lastly, check the calibration with the new joysticks. Recalibrate if necessary.